What is up, everybody? Shono the King here, the one and only, and I am here to bring you the final episode review that I will be doing for Young Justice Invasion. This was season 2, episode 20, uh, titled Endgame for a reason. This was the final episode of Young Justice. Right now, as you can tell, I'm not in my normal cheerful mood. Um, and I guess I should be happy because the last episode it was phenomenal. It had suspense, it had action, it had intrigue, and it had sadness. Like the way I feel right now, I don't know if I want to clap and give a rounding ovation or if I want to cry. I mean, it's I'm probably not gonna cry, but you get my drift. But this show was special. It definitely um, brought me a lot of joy. Waking up on Saturday mornings, being able to watch this show, and to find out that it was canceled well before its prime has it's just sad. I hate to see shows like this go away, but tis the way the world works. You got to get used to it and move on, and that's what I'm doing. But before I go, I'm going to give you guys one more hell of a review. Let's jump into it. So the episode picks up immediately, right after the events of last week. Getting rid of the Reach and the big betrayal and everything that happened. It starts off in two places actually. The first location is the tribunal. The tribunal situation. Well, actually, let me talk about this first. So, the Reach has decided that they're going to destroy the Earth. Black Beetle has decided that because he cannot own the Earth, he's going to destroy any trace of it so that it can't be brought back to the Reach, and they couldn't be held responsible for any of the heinous acts that they created. So the Young Justice team, of course, is not having any of this, and they immediately attack the last Reach ship that's active at this time. They jump on the ship, and a battle immediately ensues. We get a quick battle between Aqualad and Black Beetle. I would have liked it to have been a little bit longer, but I guess as you finish watching the episode, you notice that there was a lot that they had to jam into this 1/2 hour episode. So I kind of understand why they kind of got quick and to the point. Black Beetle is easily, taken down. He takes down Aqualad pretty effortlessly, and then he gets attacked by Green Beetle, and Green Beetle attempts to reset his Scarab, and in doing so, Black Beetle is able to actually destroy Green Beetle's Scarab, not killing him, but I guess because he's a Martian, he wasn't able to be killed. But it looks like he was pretty much out for the count. He then goes after Jaime Reyes and the Blue Beetle Scarab, and because now before they were kind of like fighting each other, but at this point they're kind of like perfectly in sync. So them working together, they are able to overpower Black Beetle and basically destroy his Scarab, which in turn drops and takes him out. Now I don't think it killed him because I guess he was a Reach soldier, but I guess when you remove a Scarab from a human, the human host dies. But I guess if you're an alien, you're strong enough to survive. It just puts you on your ass a little bit. So that confrontation is pretty much wrapped up in a nice little bundle. But in the process of destroying Black Beetle's Scarab, we learned that Black Beetle set up 20 different, basically megaton warheads that can destroy the Earth's magnetic field and essentially destroy the planet. And the team has to get together and take care of this. Now, on the opposite side of the universe, we still have the Justice League that's being held captive, and they're still on the tribunal trying to figure out their fates. Now, at this point, they made their point, and then they were basically found guilty on all charges and were taken away. But right after the tribunal convened, luckily Superboy and Miss Martian show up with the evidence that the Reach and the Light were all scheming to get them, in trouble. So that after a couple of quick words from Ms. Martian and Superboy, that whole thing gets cleared up and the Justice League is freed. Uh, then we actually end up going back to planet Earth, and the teams are taking out the scarabs and the weapons of mass destruction. And it were just it was kind of funny. They broke out the teams in groups of two, and we had, there was a team up between Static Shock and Black Lightning. And the first thing that came to my head when I saw that is so racist. How you going to team the only two black guys together? I mean, jokingly saying that was racist. I didn't really think it was racist. Just me being humorous. That's the first thing that came to my head. So please don't start, messaging me and all that shit. It was a joke. But I did find it odd that they teamed up the only two black people together. And it was actually kind of cool, though, because, again, we finally get to see Virgil in his element doing what he loves to do. And Black Lightning actually offers him to be his mentor, to teach him, how to use his abilities. And I thought that was actually really cool, because we actually got a chance to learn more about Black Lightning through the DC Nation shorts. And he's actually a character that I'd love to see more from. I mean, he looks like he's a really cool superhero. He has his daughters that also have powers. I would actually like to see a spinoff with him. We also got a couple of other interesting team-ups that ended up destroying the Scarab. So essentially the 20 locations are taken down, but then there's just one left. And this one is in Antarctica, and it looks like the Flash was on his way there to disable the last weapon of mass destruction. Now, it looks like Impulse decided to join them, and then by the time they got there, the weapon had already went off, and it's crystallized, as it was said, and there was basically no way to stop it other than running an opposite path of the storm to de-energize it. So Impulse and the Flash started to do that, but their speed alone was not enough, so Kid Flash decided to join in. Now, as we all know from about maybe 3 or 4, no, maybe a little bit more episodes back, maybe midway through the season, we got an All Flash episode, and we learned that, Kid Flash, out of all the lines of Flashes, is the slowest. So, Impulse and Flash were running faster than Kid Flash. Now, because he was not able to keep up, the energy was dispersing his body and basically killing him. I know Kid Flash noticed, and, he made his last proclamation. He's, Artemis is going to be so pissed, not to mention my parents, make sure you tell her I love her. And then he's hit again with one of the energy disbursements and basically gets sent to the Speedverse, essentially killing him. Impulse and Flash do end up stopping the machine, and, mission successful. Artemis does find out, and she begins to cry. And this was probably the saddest moment in the actual series, because, again, when Artemis was killed, we all knew it was a farce. But to see Wally really die, I know there's a lot of Kid Flash fans out there who probably are still crying at this moment. I have to admit, I got choked up myself watching it. It was definitely how this season needed to end. I think, giving that pungent shock is exactly why everyone loved this show so much. But it was really good. It was really good, and it was poignant. Honestly, I really thought that they were going to find some way to bring him back, but he actually did stay dead. We get a couple of months later, the Justice League does come back. They find out about Mount Justice the Young Justice Mountain being destroyed. They basically initiate all of the Young Justice teams to be in the Watchtower. They basically all get what they want. Nightwing actually decides to take some time off to kind of mourn Wally's death, which is completely understandable, because Wally, Aqualad, and Nightwing, they're the original 3 members of the Young Justice team. So, they're the closest. So for them to get everything together and, for them to lose one of their own, is definitely something that you can't just, snap out of. But, Aqualad, being the leader, he has to get everything together. And you know, more missions have to come, so that's kind of how the episode ends, for the most part. Now, there's something I want to discuss. I was really disappointed. This is the point where I got really upset because this season didn't end fixing all the problems. And the reason why I say that is because there is a scene where Vandal Savage shows up at the tribunal and he has the war world under his control, and basically says if anyone attacks my planet, there will be hell to pay, things of that nature. And even after the Young Justice team is setting up their next missions, we get a scene where the War World planet is now moving to Apocalypse. And again, if any one of you guys have ever watched Justice League Unlimited, if you've watched Superman, the animated series, we all know what Apocalypse is. And we know Planet Apocalypse is ruled by Apocalypse himself. And, you know, it looks like Vandal Savage and Apocalypse have been in line this entire time. And it just looks like they had a devious plan set up for a Young Justice Season 3. Now, this really, really pisses me off because I love the animation style they used for Apocalypse. He looked menacing as ever. And just seeing him in that Young Justice artwork was just like, it made me so angry because I'm just like, God damn you, Cartoon Network. Why the fuck did you have to cancel this show? The writers and the directors, they all look like they had a Season 3 in mind. That's the only reason why they would put that in there. So it's clear that they wanted to continue the series, and you guys just knocked them out and just canceled the show. And you guys are fuckers for that. I really, really dislike you right now, but I'm not gonna go into full rage mode right now. I'm not gonna do that. I just wanna say that I really enjoyed these 20 episodes of Young Justice. This season definitely surpassed season 1 by leaps and bounds, in my opinion. I think maybe 1 or 2 episodes tops, you know, were probably below a 5 out of. You know what? If I had to rate every episode out of a 10, maybe 1 or 2 episodes probably ranked under a 5 or less. But that's 1, maybe 2 episodes out of 20. So overall, I'm going to give this season of Young Justice a 9.5 out of 10. This season was just unbelievable. The number of villains they got to interact with, the number of team members increased. The storyline was so good. Just the whole Beetle storyline was, it didn't see it coming until they revealed it. It was just good all over. Just a couple of announcements. I definitely am going to do a couple of videos talking about the new Teen Titans show, as well as talking about some of the other DC Nation shows that are getting ready to start. Definitely look out for those. But I want to know what you guys thought of this episode, and what did you think about the season overall. You know, let me know in the comments section below. Definitely don't forget to thumbs up the video. It definitely helps it get out there to the people. So if you like the video, thumbs up the video. That's all a brother asks. This is Show Enough the King, the one and only. And don't forget, people, look out for my other videos, because this will not be the last that you hear from me. Peace out.